Okay, we're going to continue on in our Father's Word. This is Jeremiah 51, verse 34. Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, has devoured me. He has crushed me. He has made me an empty vessel. He has swallowed me up like a monster. He has filled his stomach with my delicacies. He has spit me out. Let the violence done to me and my flesh be upon Babylon. The inhabitant of Zion will say, and my blood be upon the inhabitants of Chaldea. Jerusalem will say, therefore thus says the Lord, behold, I will plead your case and take vengeance for you. I will dry up her sea and make her springs dry. Babylon shall become a heap, a dwelling place for jackals, an astonishment and a hissing, without an inhabitant. They shall roar together like lions. They shall growl like lions' whelps. In their excitement I will prepare their feast. I will make them drunk, that they may rejoice and sleep a perpetual sleep, and not wake, says the Lord. I will bring them down like lambs to the slaughter, like rams with male goats. Oh, how Shishah! Shishah is a code word for Babylon. Shishah. Oh, how Shishah is taken. Oh, how the praise of the whole earth is seized. How Babylon has become desolate among the nations. The sea has come up over Babylon. She is covered with a multitude of waves. Her cities are a desolation, a dry land and a wilderness, a land where no one dwells, though which no son of man passes. I will punish Bel in Babylon. I will bring out of his mouth what he has swallowed, and the nations shall not stream to him any more. Yes, the wall of Babylon shall fall. My people go out of the midst of her. And let every one deliver himself from the fierce anger of the Lord, and lest your heart faint, and you fear for the rumor that will be heard in the land. A rumor will come 1 year, and after that, in another year, a rumor will come, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. Therefore, behold, the days are coming, that I will bring judgment on the carved images of Babylon. Her whole land shall be ashamed, and all her slain shall fall in her midst. Then the heavens and the earth and all that is in them shall sing joyously over Babylon. For the plunderers shall come to her from the north, says the Lord, as Babylon has caused the slain of Israel to fall. So at Babylon the slain of all the earth shall fall. You do not have escaped. You who have escaped the sword, get away, do not stand still. Remember the Lord afar off, and let Jerusalem come to your mind. We are ashamed because we have heard reproach. Shame has covered our faces, for strangers have come into the sanctuary of the Lord's house. Therefore, behold, the days are coming, says the Lord, that I will bring judgment on her carved images, and throughout all her land the wounded shall groan. Though Babylon were to mount up to heaven, and though she was to fortify the height of her strength, yet from me plunderers would come to her, says the Lord. The sound of a cry comes from Babylon, and a great destruction from the land of the Chaldeans, because the Lord is plundering Babylon and silencing her loud voice. Though her waves roar like great waters, and the noise of their voice is uttered, because the plunderer comes against her, against Babylon, and her mighty men are taken. Every one of their bows is broken, for the Lord is the God of recompense. He will surely repay, and I will make drunk her princes and wise men, her governors, her deputies, and her mighty men. and they shall sleep a perpetual sleep, and not awake, says the King, whose name is the Lord of the host. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, and her high gates shall be burned with fire. The people will labor in vain, the nations, because of the fire, and they shall be weary. The word which Jeremiah the prophet commanded Sheariah the son of Neriah, the son of Maaseiah, when he went with Zedekiah the king of Judah to Babylon in the 4th year of his reign. And Sheariah was the quartermaster. So Jeremiah wrote in a book all the evil that would come upon Babylon, all these words that are written against Babylon. And Jeremiah said to Sheariah, when you arrive in Babylon and see it and read all these words, then you shall say, O Lord, you have spoken against this place to cut it off, so that none shall remain in it, neither man nor beast, but it shall be desolate forever. Now, Saddam Hussein rebuilt Babylon, 50 miles south of Baghdad. And Saddam Hussein thought he was a reincarnated Nebuchadnezzar. And so he fixed Babylon up, but he didn't fix those gardens, the swinging gardens of Babylon. One of the 7 wonders of the world, like the pyramids. Must have been something special out there at Babylon. Now that would have been special to see a wonder of the world like that, if it's anything like the pyramids, but it's supposed to be the hanging gardens of Babylon. But it shall be desolate forever. Now it shall be, when you have finished reading this book, that you shall tie a stone to it and throw it out into the Euphrates. Then you shall say, thus Babylon shall sink and not rise from the catastrophe that I will bring upon her. And they shall be weary. Thus far are the words of Jeremiah. Now this is Jeremiah 52. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he became king, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. He also did evil in the sight of the Lord according to all that Jehoiakim had done. For because the anger of the Lord had happened in Jerusalem and Judah, till he finally cast them out of his presence. Then Zedekiah rebelled against the king of Babylon. That came to pass in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, on the 10th day of the month, that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and all his army came against Jerusalem and encamped against it. And they built a siege wall against it all around. So the city was besieged until the 11th year of King Zedekiah. By the 4th month, on the 9th day of that month, the famine had become so severe in the city, there was no food for the people of the land. Then the city wall was broken through, penetrated, and all the men of war fled and went out of the city at night by the way of the gate between the 2 walls, which was by the king's garden, even though the Chaldeans were near the city all around. And they went by way of the plain, the Jordan plain. By the army of the Chaldeans pursued, but the army of the Chaldeans pursued the king, and they overtook Zedekiah in the plains of Jericho. All his army was scattered from him. So they took the king and brought him up to the king of Babylon at Riblah, in the land of Hamath, and he pronounced judgment on them. Then the king of Babylon killed the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes, and he killed all the princes of Judah in Riblah. He also put out the eyes of Zedekiah. And the king of Babylon bound him in bronze fetters, took him to Babylon, and put him in prison till the day of his death. Zedekiah never got to come back to Jerusalem. Now in the 5th month, on the 10th day of the month, which was the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, who served the king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem. He burned down the house of the Lord and the king's house, and all the houses of Jerusalem.